I would have to say my father-in-law, the man who's now my father-in-law, wasn't my father-in-law at the time, but he, 20 years ago, led me to Christ in the corner booth of a McDonald's. I came from an entirely non-Christian background and didn't know a thing about Jesus. Began hanging out with his daughter my junior year of high school. And then he and I had went out and had a man-to-man talk, as he called it, at McDonald's on Friday, December 16th, I think it was 92. And after about 15 minutes of small talk and conversation, he pulled the napkin, coffee-stained napkin off of his styrofoam coffee mug in this corner booth of the McDonald's about a mile from my house, and began to explain to me the gospel. First time I'd ever heard the gospel presented in that fashion. I'd only been to church probably 4 or 5 times my entire life up to that point. And there it was like a Damascus Road Paul sort of experience. I encountered Christ in a powerful, powerful, transformative, saving way. And ended up marrying his daughter 5 or 6 years later. And so his influence has been, needless to say, enormous. The second person who I go to in my mind was a professor in college, Scott Haithman, who was my Greek professor for my 4th and 5th semesters of Greek as undergraduate at Wheaton. And he was a huge influence. And I remember taking 2 Corinthians with him as a 4th semester Greek student. And I was actually a philosophy major and loved the life of the mind and ideas and all of the rest of it. And I thought, well, gosh, I'm at Wheaton College and I'm a Christian. I should probably learn how to read the Greek New Testament. And so there I am and stroll into his class on 2 Corinthians, and my entire world just sort of boom. I mean, it was absolutely transformative to have him get us into the Greek text and to learn how to trace the flow of an argument and think Paul's thoughts after him, and the kind of theological vistas that were opened up to me. It was just a revolutionary experience. I would come home and regurgitate his lectures to my wife, Katie, because I was so impacted by them after each class. And really, I mark that experience in 2 Corinthians with Dr. Scott Haithman as the beginning or the emerging of my own call to pastoral ministry. And the life of a biblical scholar. Fell in love with the Bible there in that class, and resolved to want to give my life to teaching the Bible and figuring out how I can make a living by teaching the Bible the way I learned how to study it from Scott Haithman. So I would certainly point to him as an enormous formative influence in my own thinking.